we ain't get the whole intro. We gotta bring that one back real quick for y'all one time. Hold up. Bring that back, Screw. Much better. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to the den. I hope everybody's having a fantastic Friday evening. I've been out and about, so you'll have to pardon me if I'm a little sluggish, but we're going to get into it, man. We're going to get some den action, man. We have Mr. Man Up joining us this evening. How you doing tonight, Man Up?
Can't complain. You know, take care of little things at the house. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good. Like I said, I called myself trying to take a power nap. Like I said, I've been up and about. I probably got about 2 or 3 hours of sleep last night and been up all day, and then, finally got back in a little bit late, and then, I'll catch back up with it, but I'm good now. I'm good to go. I might have to, we'll figure it all out as we go. But tonight we're going to talk about, man, judging people by appearances. But before we get into that, we're going to see who we have joining us this evening. And then we're going to have some good conversation. And again, I want to apologize to everybody because I know I have been slacking on the last couple of little dens. Like I say, just been some other things. Like I say, my evenings have been carrying over a little bit, working on some other stuff, trying to get, some things in the sauce fulfilled, and then just working on some other behind the scenes things. So, Dr. Rabbit, what's the motherfucking deal, man? If I see you holding up the chat and the stream. Heidi, the hater, how are you this evening? Mello, what's the motherfucking deal? And it's all Gucci. So here's the deal, man. 1 and 2, and then the Rockets got that action, so they got that win. Because last I heard, it wasn't looking good. I think I was on the way back in. They were losing, and they ended up winning. So shout out to the Rockets for getting that W. But man, let's talk about judging people by appearances. And again, like I said, I was going to call it quits, but look, I got to sustain. But I want to talk about judging people by appearances. Just saying, particular stereotypes. And I kind of want to, we were talking about it right before the stream, what brought this topic up to mind, Mr. Man. But if you want to share this with the people and just kind of give them a rundown as to why, you came up with tonight's topic and, why it's been kind of bothering you a little bit.
Well, first, it started bothering me. I forgot the name of the stream that we did where we were talking about judging people's appearance and stuff. And he was saying how, that, some people might judge you because you got a long dress. They may just automatically assume you Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? And being black with a bunch of tattoos like I have, people might think I'm in gangs and stuff and things like that. Then what really set it over the top for me was this episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Watching that with my wife one day, and I sent you the link about it. The mom, I forgot her name, was looking at a video camera in her house, and I remember the name of the episode. It's called The Nightmare Before Christmas. So if you want to check that out, you'll see what I'm talking about. But she was talking about somebody was stealing from her, and she was checking her security cameras. Nothing's wrong with that. We all do that, if we feel like something ain't right. But it was a guy that was like fixing something in the kitchen, and she was like, "Who's this? Who's this?" And the guy that she was talking to, one of the sons of whoever he is. So I think that's a plumber. And the mom gonna bust out with, "Look at him. He can't be a plumber. He can't be a plumber. He has a Rolex on. What kind of plumber was a Rolex?" And that what made me started thinking, you don't know how this person got that Rolex. It could have been handed down. He could have saved up his money to get something he really wanted. Could have been a Christmas gift, birthday gift, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just because he's a plumber, you're judging the guy. And that's not particularly the right thing to do, to judge people just because of what they do for a living, what they look like, what they're actually doing, things like that. And I'm not gonna lie, we've all done it. I've done it myself, but I've shied away from doing that because when it comes full circle back on you, people tend to get upset about that. So that's the reason why I started, stop doing that, judging people by what they look like. But when I saw that kind of in particular got me just a little bit riled up a little bit. So I said, let me shoot this idea to Honcho, see what he do with it.
And I can agree with you, man. Judging people without really knowing the details of their background or where they came from. I mean, people can have a whole certain craft because, if I'm not mistaken, a master plumber makes pretty good money, especially if he owns his own business. There could be a lot of things that he has going on. He may wants to show that he's a classy plumber. I'm sure he still probably got plumber butt, but he want to show off his Rolex. So that's the only thing you're looking at. Saying he want to distract you from the crack. No, but seriously though. I do agree, man. And it's funny because the same people who always judge, say that they don't want to be judged. You don't judge me. What's the saying? Judge not, lest ye be judged, or lest ye be judged, or however that saying goes. So I think that if you're gonna get out there, you're gonna cast your feelings on other people, then you should be prepared for everything that comes with you, and especially if you're a Kardashian, because everybody knows, everybody has some input on their particular rise to fame and how they got there and their merit in this society and everything like that. So, a person who actually has a craft and a skill, that should be the least or the last of the people that you are judging. And just because he wears a Rolex, that means nothing. It could be a Brolex, might not be the real deal. He just may want to have the feel, It could be a lot of reasons behind the reason. Again, like you said, it could be something passed down from the family. It could have been something he saved up for a while for, and just that he wanted, that he, maybe gifted himself for reaching a certain level or a certain goal in life that he wanted to achieve. So my thing is, and it's interesting because, again, like I say, people who have a lot of opinions, they hate being judged. Like I said, I have a lot of opinions, but I'm used to it by now. Like you mentioned about, having the dreads or the tattoos and things will automatically have particular assumptions about the way they assume that you think, what you must believe, something like that. It was a comment. Somebody tried to hit me with the walk away thing on Twitter, that little conservative hashtag. And I was like, okay, well, you're obviously very ignorant. You're assuming because my profile is black that, that I'm giving you some type of liberal rhetoric or something. It had nothing actually to do with it. So I'm trying to figure out why you wanted to do. I guess they were just bored and they just needed something they wanted to represent somehow because it didn't even fit the situation. But it is what it is. But again, like I say, man, it is. It's definitely different. I think, people find things odd, I guess, when society tells them things are one way and they see somebody do something a little bit different. They find it odd. Like I always get questions because usually if I'm going somewhere I know I'm going to be waiting a while, I'll take a book or something with me. And people seem to be confused. I guess that black guy with dreadlocks, he's reading a book. What's going on over there, And then usually they're expecting if I'm reading a book, it's some type of, black novel or something like that. And it's not always the case. Like I said, I really don't read novels. Like I said, I try to find a lot of things that I can read that, about self-improvement and things of that nature. But again, so I understand, and that's why I say I agree. That's why a reason why I try not to judge people. And I catch myself doing it all the time, and it's been something I've been working on a lot more the last few months. There's no assumption about women with perms and weaves. I mean, if they're wearing perms and weaves, then they are. I've never said anything about their character. I've just said about what that represents when they do wear that. So I mean, I would like to say it's not a judgment. That's a fact-based thought there.
I was reading that too, and I was like, "What is she talking about?" Yeah, people do get those; they get them. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But that's not kind of what we're talking about. That's kind of like what we're saying. Like I just said, just because you're a plumber, you'll assume that you're not supposed to have anything. Mm-hmm. So when she saw him with a Rolex, how he get a Rolex? He's a plumber. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That she's assuming just because he's a plumber, he's supposed to be broke, not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Struggling to make it.
Yeah. And like I
said, know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. Being a plumber, that's a quality craft. I mean, that's a respectable craft. I mean, you will definitely stay employed being a plumber. I go off on women with weaves constantly. Yeah, she could work for that. I'm not saying that they don't have the ability to do anything. I've expressed my opinions as to why I disagree with it and why I have a problem with it. Why I have a problem, especially with the ones who try to claim, pro-blackness or black power or whatever it is that they may be talking about, but then they have a weave in their head and how that goes. That's not consistent with what they're talking about. So I don't think that's necessarily a judgment. And my thing is just that I don't find it attractive, and I think that's more of an opinion than a
Yeah.
judgment. So I think that's allowed. Um, yeah, Mello, roll up, man. Hit that hoe twice for your boy. I'm still only on the blacks, man. I'm gonna try to make it. What's this? This will be month 5. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make it through the end of the year. That way, I spent more of the year sober than I have been smoking, and then we'll see what happens next year. We may implement a special D in here and there, next year. We'll see how 2019 treats us. But but my thing is, like I say, with judgment and assuming things about people in the sense of that they're low quality people or that, they must be this or that. Um, Now, there's certain things that you can judge someone on. I don't want to say judge, but I mean, certain things are fact based. And then there's certain things where you're making assumptions and there's no
Yeah.
merit whatsoever. I mean, I think you could be pretty safe when you're making judgments on, say, a stripper in a particular strip club. I think you could probably be pretty safe in some of the assumptions you would make there. But what I'm saying is just about everyday people in everyday positions. So, um, like a thing that I don't get, like when it comes to like racial things. At the same time, like let's flip the coin. Sometimes you got to put the shoe on the other foot.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, say we talk to our folks, and black people, they'll assume just because somebody's white, they got this, that, or third going good for them. That shit, you realize a lot more white trash out there than poor black people. And I mean, the numbers are there. So just because somebody's white doesn't mean they're automatically receiving all the benefits or they're automatically receiving things. Yeah, there's a good number of them that are. But at the same time, there's a good number that's not. But the same way that we automatically look at each other and say, oh, well, we all got to think this and be this way, there's a lot of us who think differently. And,
Hmm.
but automatically, like I say, when you assume and you judge, like I say, it works both ways too. Like I say, when I see another, generally another black person, they automatically assume, okay, he again, tattoos, dreadlocks, he must think this way. Yeah, I don't really agree with you on that one, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like I see stuff a little bit differently. But, I still respect your opinions. I respect the way you feel, and I think that that's okay. But you have a lot of people who feel like if you don't fall directly in line with the consensus, then oh you a traitor, you this, that, and the third. No, you got to sometimes you got to bring up another perspective to have a better understanding. Um, but my thing is, what can we do to minimize? What would you recommend for a person who said, okay, well, I'm taking a look at I am pretty judgmental. I do judge people a lot. What would you recommend for a person who has a problem judging other people? What do you think that they could do to try to minimize that habit or work on that habit?
Well, kind of like what you just said earlier, shoe on the other foot. If it was you, what would you have to say? You would be upset. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Well, probably not upset, it all depends on the situation, but you would have something to say back. You would, you know what I'm saying, wouldn't like it. Things of that nature, put it like that. And me personally, I think that would start all changing in a lot of different ways, not just prejudging, but everything possible. But trying to stay on top of it with the prejudging. Uh, I think with this prejudging thing, we we can if we sit here and say, okay, just because you live in the hood, that don't mean you ghetto. But that's what people are gonna start assuming just because of where you live. Want to put yourself in that predicament, you know what I'm saying? Don't just prejudge somebody just because of their situation, what they look like, what they're doing, what they're not doing, things of that nature. How about, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? How did you get here? What did you do to do this? Blah, blah, blah. Because life happens to everybody. You know what I'm saying? People work hard to do the things they want to do, earn what they earn, things like that, reward themselves, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, sorry. So you can't just sit here and say, uh, I, I, I'm gonna use myself for example. You can't just sit here and say just because I'm black with a gang of tattoos on me, I'm walking down the street, I'm finna ready to rob you or something like that. That's a totally false assumption. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm not gonna do all that. I got too much going on in my life to do stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? So when people sit here and prejudge others, I think they need to put that shoe on the other foot and be like, look, You got upset when this person prejudged you just by your name, or just because you wearing whatever, you know what I'm saying, or you watch whatever, or you listen to whatever. You don't like it, so why would you turn around and do the same thing to someone else? It just don't make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we put that in perspective, I think, we as people on this earth, we'll stop doing this. We'll probably not stop, but we'll slow it down. I'll put it like that. Because, yeah, we're going to always make assumptions, whether it's good or bad. But I think if we put our shoe on the other foot, we'll be like, okay, let me think about this first. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes prejudging might be a good thing. you know, it might be a good thing.
Yeah, sometimes
But
it's okay. Sometimes you got to be careful of the level to what
yeah, that's
extent
what
you
I'm
let
saying.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might be a good thing sometimes, but don't always do that because then, like I said, you're not gonna like it if it happens to you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I think we need to start at. And one more thing I think we need to do as well too. If you now this is only to me, I put it like that the way I see it. If you know the person, that is, then I should say prejudging should definitely be out the window. Because if you know that person, then you'll know more likely what they're going through, how they got to where they're at, things like that. But people still prejudge on that situation. That's what I'm saying. So, but like I said, sometimes prejudging is a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. So I'm saying. So don't take it as it's not something that we just need to stop doing. No, it might be a good thing to say. Well, I see these motherfuckers walking up on me, and I'm trying to get in my car and go by my business. Maybe I need to, what I'm saying, watch my back a little bit.
Yeah.
You just never know. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. But I just think that we need to just slow it down a little bit, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, don't be completely foolish about the situation. Be aware of your surroundings, but
Yeah.
but yeah, definitely, don't judge too much. What's the motherfucking deal, Jay? I didn't even realize we had Jay said we hit 500. Okay, cool. I didn't even realize that we did. Well, shout out to the den. We hit 500. We in.
Uh,
So
okay.
that's what's up.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah, like I
To be
said.
exact, 501. To be exact, 501.
Okay, 501. Well, that's even better. Whatever remind me of what's them, some 501 genes. But man, I agree with you. And it's something that you just said that I wanted to talk about. And I think this is something that we have to discuss, especially when we talk about our folks. And like I say, it's nothing too far. And I love, people being unique. I love people being creative. I love. Oh, you in Montana? You finna run in the Brockhouse while out there. You gonna you gonna hit the vehicle with the football and miss it by a wide margin. You gonna try to. But name prejudice, what you said, and this is something that's realistic. Because you got to talk about when people put in applications and when people put in jobs and things like that, and people get mad and people get upset because your parents decide to get extra creative with your naming and extra unique, and then get mad when people can't pronounce your name, when they can't read your name. Like, whose fault is that? It's not common. It's not normal. And yeah, you're going to be judged a certain way if you have a Aquarius,
Yeah, boom,
yeah, some old crazy shit like that. But yeah, when you have some shit like that, I mean, you're gonna be judged. I mean, and I hate to say it because I'm like, what the hell were your parents thinking? That shit ain't African or whatever the fuck you them motherfuckers be trying to come up with some this is a family. What kind of family you come from? And so some of them things, and again, like I said, I hate to be that way, but some shit is just common sense. Sometimes, so I'm telling y'all, if y'all gonna have some kids, man, give your kids a fighting chance in the world. Because if I'm looking at a resume and I see, Luckwadavia or some shit, and then I see a fucking, an Ebony or a Sarah or a Laura or something, and I'm just trying to think of some more common names. Well, I won't say those two. Those all sound like white names. I'm trying to balance it. I'm trying to think of some other kind of some whatever name. Just give me something basic. But you can't just be throwing. Because I'm automatic. I think of like you say, a Boom Quisha or something. I'm thinking of some long nails. I'm thinking of some bubble gum. I'm thinking.
Yep.
I'm thinking about You remember that movie,
Man,
Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood? That
yep.
nurse, when they was in there, she all on the phone and she mad. Janet. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Janet. There we go. But I started thinking about that old ghetto ass nurse from the movie whenever I hear a name like that. And so that's what I'm just saying, like, you taking an L, or your kids are taking an L by doing that. Now, don't get me wrong, because people can overcome, people can thrive, because what was that lawyer? Her name was Marijuana Pepsi Sawyer, because her parents, she's either a counselor, she was a lawyer or something like that, but her parents, that's what they liked, so they named her Marijuana Pepsi, and her last name was Sawyer. Now, she went on to have a quality, I want to say she's a school counselor. I think she's a school counselor, but it was another one who was a lawyer, had a crazy name. But his butt was hairy. Fucking, I know he ain't think that ass fro was cute. But, you know, and so shit like that, you know what I mean? And so you got to put yourself in a position to win, or expect that your child is going to have a difficult time. You know, when you do unique things to stand out, you better make sure that they got some unique talents. That's why you hear some of these players with some of these off the wall ass names. Yeah, they got some unique talents to be able to go with those unique ass names. And so you gotta work with, marijuana Pepsi. Yeah, go ahead.
I never heard of it. Now y'all got me want to look that up. Marijuana Pepsi Soy. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
But you said something. You saying something about the names, and this one just immediately popped in my head. Now this guy, when he changed, well, I don't know if he changed his name, but he said he wanted to. His mom wanted to name him Shadi. Now she couldn't spell it, so she spelled it out the best she could.
Oh man!
And I think you know what I'm finna say, but it was spelled Shithhead. Yep. White say she got it right. Shadi. Now, if you look at that right there, what he wrote right there, what do that? What's the first thing?
Shit, that's fucked up. That's awful, man.
You ain't gonna say Shadi. You're gonna say shithead, because that's exactly what it looked like. So, and I remember that too, and because the mom didn't know what to name the child. She said, "Well, I'll figure it out when he's born."
Yeah.
But she didn't know how to spell it, so she just automatically just came up with a spelling right off the bat. And that's what she came up. Now imagine if you saw that on a job application, like you were just talking about. Imagine you saw that name right there. I'm thank you, White Persuasion, for typing that up right there. Now imagine if you saw that.
Man, let me tell you about one. I used to and I used to work at the like the little distribution center. I was a lead there, and there was a guy. This man's name was Doofus. Like that was his real name, was Doofus. And I'm like, your mom set you up for the okie doke. She set you up for failure. And I probably about like, at first I thought it was like a nickname or something like that. What's the motherfucking deal, Josh? Persuasion. Make sure anybody else missed. Fried chicken Isha. But Doofus. And that's what I'm saying. Like, man, I can only imagine how school was for you. I can only imagine how life is treated. Look, there goes that Doofus. You know, I mean, even though it's your name, but it's unfortunate, man. It's like it's putting you in a bad situation. But yeah, shithead is a horrible way. I mean, because that's the first thing you'll say. Shithead is shithead here. You know, it's gonna be a bad look, man. So then I remember the one like they were talking about what was it? It was like Ladasha or something like that, but it's supposed to be but with a dash. It was LA-A or something like that. It was supposed to be Ladasha or something like that, but it was the dash was actually a dash instead of spelling out DASH. And so that's the crazy one. So I mean that's crazy. Ladasha. Okay, yeah, okay. I see it. Yeah, there you go. Some white persuasion dimension. I didn't see you say it up there, but yeah. The Ladasha, like, yeah, I mean, that's like crazy. Like, what do you know? That's what I'm saying. When you get too unique for your own good, you basically out of it.
Yeah, I saw him right there, but I didn't know what he was talking about. I see that. I saw that.
Yeah.
Love,
Yeah, but they go say Ladasha.
Uh,
That's some crazy shit. My mother's husband wanted me to be
uh,
named Confucius when I was born because he knew I was Confucius, wise man say. Uh, but yeah, man. So that's what I mean. But this crazy thing. So I mean, you will be. I mean, it's just certain shit that shithead. It's certain shit that you will be judged for. I mean, as much as we want to in human nature try to avoid, being judgmental, it's just certain things, certain names. I mean, first encounters are a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He said there was a dude named Lindsay. He used to tell new people that his name was Justin. I ain't mad at it, man. I mean, I look. You gotta change the game up. It was a Lindsay. It was a oh man. It was some interesting names back then. I know there's a couple of dudes named Ashley.
yeah,
Um,
I met one named Kimberly. I was like, huh?
yeah, man, I
I was
can't
like,
believe it. Kimberly. Oh shit.
I was like Kimberly. I said, okay, yeah, y'all say, well, I know he got made fun of in school.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just that, what I'm saying, people, with something like that, you gotta, I'm sorry, like you said, whoever named you, whether it was your parents, your grandparents, and next door neighbor, whoever, they're like, come on now. It's ridiculous, you know what I'm saying? Let's just be real. Like you said, give your child a fighting chance. You see something like that. Like I said, if somebody wrote their name on the application, and I saw that. If I was the boss and I'm in credit and I'm not trying to hide, and I saw shithead, I'm immediately throwing that away. I'm
yeah,
thinking you
yeah.
full of shit.
Yeah. I think you
You know what
bullshit.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, come on now. And I think what's going on, Ed, man? What's
Oh,
going on with you? But yeah, I would say, man, no, don't, no.
yeah, you in a bad
Come
spot.
on.
Like I say, motherfuckers get caught up in the moment and stuff, thinking, oh, I'm being creative, and they not thinking long term. You got to think long term. That's why I'm glad, I got an old regular ass name. I'm cool with that. It's all
Yeah,
it's boring sounding, but it is what it is. Uh,
yeah.
so that's definitely a guy's named Jalen. I know a girl named Michael. I met a dude named Michaela. Oh, that's bad business right there. But something you were saying earlier about judgment and being judgmental and things like that, and it was kind of you referring, start asking people instead of just assuming things. And I think that if people did ask more questions, if people did actually, instead of living in their own mind and assuming these things about people, get out and ask a question, ask a couple of things of people. Hey, well, what's going on with this, or what's up with this? And if the person is willing to answer and they have a discussion, I think you get a better understanding of people, and I think you get a better appreciation of people. Or you can confirm your thoughts. They may be some goofballs, and so I mean, then you had a right to judge them. Once they say some stupid shit, you're like, okay, this motherfucker is the motherfucker I thought they were. At least you can confirm your thoughts instead of just assuming. You say a good rule is for names. If the name was around 100 years ago, then it's an acceptable name. That works. I mean, yes. I mean, because people have become familiarized with it, and so they ain't gonna think twice about it when they hear it. I think it's gonna take a couple of centuries for Ladasha to work his way into the mix, but it is what it is.
Wow.
But
Spell love. Wow. Okay. But go ahead. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was still on my brain a little bit, but go ahead. Sorry.
I'm laughing at white persuasion. Yeah, McPray ain't the way. Let me see. I think we got a text here on the line. It says, "Question for Man Up: Has someone ever judged you so bad that you had your feelings hurt?" Interesting question. So, has somebody ever done something that judged you so bad that it hurt your feelings?
I'm being 100% honest with you. No. Because the times that I grew up, there ain't no such thing as getting my feelings hurt. So even to the day, I rarely get my feelings hurt. I mean, super rare. But to answer your question, no. Not because nobody prejudging me or anything like that. I mean, I told y'all a story what happened to me one time before, going looking for a job, and I got called the N-word, which is prejudging someone. So no. I never had nothing to hurt my feelings because you prejudge me. I agree with Honcho with my name. If I wrote my name on the application, you wouldn't be able to know if I was black or white.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just being real with you.
Exactly. And that's a good thing. So, I mean, that gives you that advantage, Look, so you want to have that. And that's why I say I feel the same way, man. I think that's what's so different about this society now is everyone's feelings matter. You're talking about 7 billion motherfuckers on this planet. I don't have time to ask everybody how they feel about everything. I don't have time to find out everybody's opinions about everything. You either gonna roll with some of that shit, you gonna deal with some of that shit, or you gonna have to motherfucking me. You gonna
That's
have
what I'm
to,
laughing at.
yeah, or
That's
you
what I'm
just gonna
laughing
have to, or you can sit there and cry about it and waste your time, on the bullshit, worried about nothingness, and get yourself absolutely nowhere. Because, in my opinion, it's honestly pointless to, your feelings the way you are yourself. Your self talk is important, but giving a fuck what somebody else thinks about you, especially if they have no real value in your life, like that's something I don't comprehend. That's something I don't understand. Like I don't give a shit. Like I don't give two fucks about it. You know what I mean? It was
at.
funny because and I look at other people a certain way because I think somebody came in the sauce. I want to say it was after. Was it the post game, the Miami game? And they kept on spamming something like, nigger, nigger. Imagine being a nigger. And in my head, I'm not reacting to it because, one, you don't give people like your energy. Like when I do react, it's only because they're halfway people that I actually fuck with, or, sometimes. But my thing is this: in my mind, I'm laughing at this motherfucker because they really think they doing something. But in my head, I'm like, man, this dude is such a coward because I guarantee there's a black person somewhere in the proximity where he lives, and if he really felt this way, he'd be out in public saying it to their face, but does not have the cojones to do such. So he go come on a random stream and do some shit like that. So that's why I say, like, these things like on the internet trolling shit, that shit don't mean nothing to me. So like when people say things, like I don't care. Like no one is a harsher critic of me than I am of myself. And so
True.
once I set that standard for myself, anything anybody else says doesn't matter. Now, if I reach out and say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? What are your opinions on this? And we engage in some exchange of ideas, that's one thing. But I still hold that with a certain level of appreciation. But still, my own thoughts and my own opinions are what I look at, are most important. So like I say, shit like that, that's why I say when people like that don't get you mad, they don't know why. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. One, they ain't walked in my shoes. They don't know what I've been through. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not concerned about those type of things. But I find it funny because the fact that people, when they really think they're doing something, I'm really looking at them like, man, I can't believe how weak this motherfucker is. Like, that's sad. Like I'd hate to have to live my life like that. Like I'd hate to be a person where the only way that I can get rid of my anger or my frustration is to go somewhere randomly on the internet and try to make somebody else mad because I don't have the stones to handle my issues in real life. And I'm afraid. So that's why I say, like, the shit is it's pathetic and it's funny to me. So, I mean, but not everybody sees it. Like, other people get mad, they get triggered. Oh, they get mad. Like, fuck that. I choose where my energy goes. So, as far as somebody judging me, having opinions on me, I've probably changed more opinions on me than anything else. People probably had a particular assumption of me when they first encountered me. And then after being around me for a few minutes or however long it may have been, their thoughts have changed in the long term. And I've had people kind of say, man, I thought you were kind of, this way or that way. I was like, man, you think whatever the fuck you want to. I'm right here. We can have a conversation. You know what I mean? Don't assume nothing. So I think, what you got?
Oh, my bad. I was finna go into that judgment thing too. If you could look at me right now, look at that. I need to shave my head, shave my beard and stuff. I've walked down the street several times and people thought I was homeless. Just because, I need to shave. It's like, prejudging people, you know what I'm saying? It's been several times, that, I'm walking down the street, I'm outside playing with my daughter or something. People are just, he's just trying to be there with his daughter. So, all kinds of, people have all kinds of crazy judgments and stuff like that. And it's like, seriously? I'm like, don't get upset about it. Because I have more things to worry about in my life than to what negative people got to think, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, I've seen people get upset about it, and I ask them all the time. I'm like, why? What for? They don't know what you're gonna do. You're gonna get mad and try to fight everyone that you feel like is disrespecting you. If you do that, you'll never have a life. Mm-hmm. Never in your life you will have a life. You know what I'm saying? What you'll end up doing, okay, I can call you out your name. This person, your next door neighbor, people across the street, your co-workers, someone at the grocery store, someone at the car wash, or whatever. That's what you're going to do. You're going to fight everyone. That's a waste of time. Guess what? Live your life. Guess what? And I agree with you. I've changed a lot of people's minds about me. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I've changed a lot of people's minds about me. You know what I'm saying? You want to get to know me, hey, we can talk afterwards, top it up, I talk a little trash here and there, mostly about, about my Texans and whatever sports football team name I like, my Rockets, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. That's kind of normal with, guy stuff, but people are like, first thing they ask, oh, you want to go to the bar? You want to get some drink? I said, man, I don't drink. No, seriously, you want to get some drink? I just said I don't drink. And people are like, what? Seriously? I said, I haven't had nothing to drink since November 1st, 1996. And people want to get funny with me and say, oh, you remember that? How you remember that? I said, well, that's the date my first child was born. Yeah. And right there, people mind just all of a sudden change up thinking about me. Like, what? Like, why you just assume that I drink, I smoke, I do all this and do all that? You just automatically just assumed it. And it's like, I don't do these things, you know what I'm saying? Once you get to know someone, like I said, only if you know them, let's say get to know them, then I bet you your prejudgment will change. But complete strangers, that's a different way of going about it. But, because I've changed people's minds about just having a conversation with them, like you said. And, we have this conversation, we have certain conversations, if they're willing, of course. I'm not going to. Now, I'm not no 420, no white persuasion. I haven't had nothing to drink or smoking over 20 years. Going on 22. Well, no, it's past 22 now. Yesterday, we made 22. Okay.
Well, congratulations on that. That's definitely something to be worthwhile, man. To abstain from all the temptations in life. I could definitely do a little better myself. But the drinking ain't never been a thing. I stopped. Not that I stopped drinking, but I used to go hard and party and shit. But when I was became legal, 21, I was just drinking. Really, I guess the appeal it lost it for me. Then it was a couple of times after that I might have got wasted once or twice, but it was just it just the consistency in drink. It just lost all interest to me. It wasn't really like a thing, And again, like I say, I don't like getting to a point where you just so drunk or so out of your character that you can't really maintain. That's why I say as far as anything, I smoke a little weed, but it's been like I said, it's been a few months we'll see how that lasts. But because I'd rather relax, observe, engage my own thoughts, and just kind of take a deep dive and just look at the things from a different angle. With alcohol, there ain't no thinking. You just when your head start getting blurry, your mind, your thoughts start getting blurry, shit start coming in and out. What you start walking one way, you halfway across the room for your senses come back to you. You just in some other shit, So like I say, I definitely I can agree with you on that, man. I like I said, I definitely am got to give you my props for that because that's definitely a tough task. A lot of people can't do that. So I definitely give you your props for that one.
Like I said, I go out to bars, shoot some pool, stuff like that. People drinking. I just say, give me a Sprite, give me a Mountain Dew, whatever they got. They said whatever kind of soda they may be selling. But I say, give me one of those. Not for real, what you want to drink? But just say. So people just come up with all kind of crazy nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So, and they prejudge me just because whatever they thinking in their head about. Saying whatever situation may be, and like I say, you really can't do that. It's not fair to that person, not even to you. And Heidi over here talking about happy birthday, daughter up. What the? What is she talking about? Happy birthday, daughter up.
I think she's thinking daughter up is the date that you were talking about. You said you have an older son, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's his first son. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I saw that. I'm like, what is she talking about? I knew it had something to do with me because my name, but I was like, daughter up. But yeah, okay. But yeah, I was like, but yeah, people are gonna prejudge it regardless. So, but I just think if we as people, as a society, calm that down, really start to think twice about certain things, and that you say, "Oh, son up." But we calm this down, really start to really think long and hard about certain things. We'll change the way we view a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we might still need to, be a little cautious here and there, but, just calm it down a little bit. We'll be all right.
Yeah, because I mean, there's certain things. I mean, there's certain signs, and again, that will just you got to be aware of. You got to say, okay, nah, this is definitely a situation that is not conducive to my health, so I got to be cautious in certain vicinities. Ed Man, I think texts in and says, why do people judge? Is it because they're insecure about their self? And do you believe blacks are the most judgmental, or is it another race? I think on the racial aspect of it, I think all races have equal levels of judgment. Because trust me, I hang out with some Mexicans, they judgmental than a motherfucker. I know some white folks judgmental than a motherfucker. I know some niggas that's judgmental than a motherfucker. You're black folks and niggas, however you want to look at it, because I tell you there's a separation. People are judgmental, period. I think all races have their particular stereotypes about other races, especially if they don't interact with those other races very much. If you just only know those type of people from TV and you don't actually get out and engage. So I say I feel like I'm fortunate because at a young age I always, hung with people from other races, or I always had the ability to get to interact with others and just kind of see a different perspective. May not always agree with that perspective, but to see things in a different way, to have, legitimate conversations without getting mad and shit and say, okay, well, why do you feel this way? Okay. Oh, okay. I can understand that. I've had conversations with mixed race people and they'll sit there and tell, about particular sides of their family. Well, this side, the black side feel this way, the white side feel this way, or, and just so different things. I think when it comes to races, I don't think one race is more judgmental than the other. I think they all are equally full of bullshit. Your thoughts on your thoughts on that one, man? And he was asking too, like, why do people judge, and is it because they're insecure with themselves?
Well, I could say they might be a little insecure. I think also it's a little bit lazy as well too. Uh, and the reason why I'm saying lazy, let me get to about that. Let me start by saying that. Talk about that. I mean, kind of like what I was just saying. Instead of sitting here talking about uh, trying to figure out why, why this person doing this or had this or look like this or dress like that or whatever. People just rather just say, oh, they doing it because of that, without even knowing anything. And kind of like what Heidi over here talking about, black guys judge the girls for wearing weaves. She is stuck on this weave stuff for some art people.
Yes, yes.
So, and I'm trying to figure out what's up with that.
I can't judge people for stealing weaves too. Oh, good grief! They definitely should be judged. They stealing them. Y'all give me just 1 second here. I'm gonna keep it up so y'all can chop it up with man up. I got to do one little thing here in the background, and I'll pop right back in. Give me just 1 second.
All right. But yeah, with the prejudging stuff, I think we as a people need to really sit back and sit here and say, look, what if someone judged you because you don't speak the proper language or whatever, and wherever you're at? What say I'm calling shots. Now, what if what I'm saying? Like how they say she don't speak English that well. What if someone judged her because of that? You know what I'm saying? What if someone just judging you just because I walk down the street several times. We all know the Rockets colors is red and white. Honcho got fired. And just because I'm wearing red, people think I'm in the gangs and stuff, think I'm in the Bloods and stuff like that. And I can wear the Texans blue, people think I'm part of the Crips. No, I'm just wearing my favorite team's colors, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So that's why I don't understand that. And Ed, man, I saw you type that earlier, and no, I would not ever consider hair transplants. I'm bald for a reason because I choose to. Oh man. But well, right now you shave my hair a little bit, but still, I'm bald for a reason because I choose to. Oh man. But yeah. That was funny. That was funny. I appreciate that one. But yeah, it's just several things that I think we need to calm this down with. You know what I'm saying? Uh, with this our prejudging stuff. But like I said, also too, though, we can sit here and be cautious about it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you never know. If you walk around the movie theater and you see a whole bunch of people walking up towards you, yeah, they might be getting in the car next to you to go home minding their business, but you just never know. So it could be You just never know. So, like I said, it just all depends on certain situations. So, and it's kind of hard to explain it all, but just throwing that knowledge out there. You say Mario Ellie never used hair transplant, and he was a baller. Honcho definitely taking a think. Oh my God, y'all something else. Y'all something else. Oh man, y'all something else. Y'all something else. But so that's just my personal opinion on that one. And then uh, also too, just kind of getting off topic a little bit here. That's why you gotta have the nine. Nah, I ain't trying to go and shoot nobody now. What my son now doing nowadays, 22. Well, he just graduated college, so he's doing his own thing. So he's doing his thing. Jason, who got the shining forehead, me or Honcho? I see him right there.
Yeah. Let me
They just say you got a question you want to call in.
give me 1 second. I'll boot up the line to call in here.
Of course, I am always a proud papa. I'm proud of my kid, proud of my little girl, my baby, proud of my son. I'm proud. I'm happy. Can't ask for nothing better.
Give me 1 second. I'll check the.
Like Precision said, act normal. He's back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch everything, see what kind of shenanigans y'all been up to. Now, give me 1 second. Let me check the audios and and we'll get it all together here.
Hey man said, man, would you let your daughter wear weave? Put it like this. I'm I know she's on 8. I'm letting her make her own decisions. Well, let me clarify that before I say that. To a certain degree, I'm letting her make her own decisions, of course, but I'm also teaching her responsibility behind some of her decisions. So, to go ahead and answer your question, I personally don't like it. It is what it is. Would I let her? Look, I'm not gonna say do or don't. I'm gonna let her know, hey, this about this, this is what it is. This is what it could be, things like that. So,
Okay, give me 1 second. Like I said, we're gonna do a little quick pause. I'm gonna check the audio because I didn't have the den line set up before we got in here. Check all the sounds real quick, and then we'll bounce right back. Uh,
uh,
Back to all the shenanigans and weave wearing commentary and all that good stuff. So give me just 1 second. Look, y'all already brought it back early. You don't get all them intros and all that other good stuff. All right, so here's the deal, man. We'll crack open the den line. Hopefully everything the audio sound correct. It might be leaning to one side. Oh, what's that? I gotta change it to the November. I gotta change the dilly dally. I just realized that was the October goal in there. November goal might be for another, because I gotta figure out what it is. Why is it only? I mean, like I said, I've done a bunch of troubleshooting. Gotta figure out why is it only one side cooperating with the situation. Let's see. Here's the den line number. Y'all want to call in and y'all have some comments that y'all would like to share. We definitely want to hear what you got to say. I think there's a couple of the texts here. We'll read those while we get some calls and whatever else it may be.
Heidi, call in, Heidi. Come on, Heidi. I don't care about you not speaking English that good. Call on in.
Okay. What's the most common name for every race? I don't fucking know. What kind of shit is that? And then Dominic says, what do I tell my father to come out of the closet? That's a interesting. Actually, I tried to answer your coming out of the closet question the last stream, and I think you got off the stream by that time. So we'll get to that after this call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den this evening?
Hey, Honcho, this is Jay Dizzle. What's up?
What's the motherfucking deal, Jay Dizzle, man? What's on your mind? What you wanna drop in the den tonight?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
Yeah, it is kind of low.
It's kind of, let me see what we got.
I can't hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. See, I gotta figure out what's going on with this. Now, this is what we do. We're gonna put you on the speaker. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, we gonna put it on the speaker. We gonna go get ghetto with it. What's the motherfucker deal? What you want to drop in the den this evening?
Since we're talking about appearance, I just want to know. I can't be the only one, man. I can't be the only one on this planet that met this type of person. Have you ever met what I call a neutral sexual?
A neutral sexual?
Yeah, and see, I made up this term, right? Now, when I explain to you why I call it that, it's going to explain to you what it is. Okay, you know how like on the gear shift selector, right? You got P, N, and D, park, neutral, and drive, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, they right in the middle, in the neutral part. Because you don't know if they got a P or a D, which is a pussy or a dick.
Yeah.
You can't tell if they male or female. You met one of the type of people before?
Man, like what was that old character? Like, it's Pat. That character you say it was called. It was Pat. They didn't know if it was a man or a woman. Looking like a little dude or a little stud. Man, I want to say I probably encountered one or two in my lifetime. And that's a very interesting predicament.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what he was saying there.
It kind of makes you feel kind of fucked up because it piques your curiosity, number one. And then number two, you start looking at them and you like, damn, if that's a dude, I don't want to be staring at a dude, because I ain't going to be looking longingly at another man's face. What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? And if it's a female, you're looking at her like, damn, bitch, you could damn near be a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, bitch? You could be an infiltrator and shit. What can a nigga do with that? It's a weird situation, man. It's real weird. I thought maybe I was one of the only ones that ever met a person that looked like that to me, but you just could not tell. And then what you try to do is you try to make them talk and say something. Yeah. And then sometimes that'll tell you if they male or female, but sometimes it still don't. You be like, dude, okay, and you want to ask them, but you don't want to be an asshole. And sometimes they'll just come out and tell you, yeah, I'm a chick, or yeah, I'm a dude. And you like, oh, okay, well, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be an asshole in that, but you look weird. Like, what the fuck are you? Like, seriously.
Man, yeah, like I said, I don't think I can say I've seen them, but I don't think I've just really had a situation where I tried to break down and have a conversation with them. I probably keep a little distance away from them. I feel you definitely don't want to be an asshole, but sometimes you just gotta know.
just like, I didn't know how to address them. You're like, what the fuck do you say? So you try to be gender neutral in the way that you talk to them.
Yeah.
But they can see the confused look on your face, like I'm trying not to say the wrong thing because I'm not trying to disrespect you. But at the same time, I don't know what the fuck you are. So you got to help me out here. Throw a nigga a phone or something. Tell me something.
Yeah. Oh, they got to know when they wake up in the morning. They have to be aware. And then, you know, some of them that do that shit deliberately now. You know, that whole non-binary type situation. But appreciate the call. Appreciate the call. I got to figure out what's going on. Like I say, that's what I think the next goal we're gonna have to see. Like I said, I've tweaked and I've turned all this shit around. It's gonna have to be. It must be the mixer because, like I said, I've tried all these cords. I bought all new wiring and everything, and it's just everything else is what it is. But in certain aspects, like I can hear it on my end, so I got to figure out how we can get everything back receptive. We'll get it all figured out one day. Like I said,
yeah, I couldn't understand what he was saying. It was coming in so loud. I couldn't really understand what he was saying.
Okay. Well, he was basically talking about, you know, have you ever encountered somebody who was basically you couldn't tell whether they were male or female, and you didn't want to really be rude to them, so you didn't really want to judge them. You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of wanted to you handle them in a neutral manner. Although we got Rabbit calling in, but I think we may go after this call. We may just go back to the text if the calls aren't coming in clearly. What's the motherfucking deal? I'm assuming it's Rabbit. It says Rabbit. Rabbit, what's the motherfucking deal? What do you want to drop in the den this evening?
You and the den on hitting 500 subscribers.
Okay. Appreciate that. 500 is the stepping stone. We got so much more to go. When we figure out how to properly promote this thing. But it's definitely plenty more to go, but I appreciate that.
Yeah, 501.
501. Okay, well that's the more to go, so we done now. 500 was the stepping stone, 501 was the one to go, so now we good. But that's what's happening.
So I wanted to speak on the topic of the video, why you shouldn't judge by appearance.
Okay.
Now, again, this is a topic that I can't really explain very well, so just bear with me on my limited knowledge.
Okay.
The reason why I feel that you can't judge somebody by their appearance is because you don't know the full backstory. Okay, so let's say a person has some sort of disorder or disease.
No.
You don't know the full backstory behind it, but people are quick to jump to conclusions and just say, "Oh, they're weird. I don't know what's wrong with them." What the hell was that?
What? That was a lighter falling over.
Good.
That's not, what if the lighter was lit and it fell over and it set something on fire? That's not good. That's bad. T'Challa says, I'm stuck. I don't know if I want to work out or eat Oreos and watch Big Mouth. If you want immediate gratification, watch Big Mouth and eat Oreos. If you want to be proud of yourself tomorrow, you should probably go work out. So the decision is...
Well, the only problem with that is I already finished, Big Mouth.
But you're talking about disorders and if they have a disease or something like that that has prevented them from a situation. But that's my thing. I don't think people like that necessarily get judged. I think it's more of a pity situation. And no, I don't want to say pity too, no, because then there's a lot of people. Man, I just saw this video of this guy, and he was quadriplegic, no arms, no legs, and this dude living life, skydiving, swimming, working out somehow. I saw a guy with no legs, with no lower half. He was swole as shit. Got me mad at myself. I ain't been more consistent in the gym. You know what I'm saying? Well, Diesel from the only half, I guess. I don't want to say upper half. He only had half a body, but I mean, he was getting in. He was doing like them box jumps. He was doing like these little push-up box jumps and shit. So, you know, I think that's a very interesting situation. So I don't want to say pity, because I think that's another thing. You know, pity is only when you feel sorry for yourself. That's the only time it comes into a situation. And when people realize that, because you got people who complain about everything in their lives. You got people, if you let them, they will find a way to complain about everything that they possibly could. And fucking, you know, and it's just, again, don't, like I said, that's why I try to look at other places. I look around the world and just, you know, see that the situation that other people are in. That's what I say about even being here in America, man. It may be problems. It's not perfect. You know, no place is perfect. This is the planet Earth. There will never be perfection. But you are blessed to be born in America because of the opportunity. And whether you take it's up to you whether or not you take the opportunity. You look around the world, that opportunity doesn't present itself. And so people who are mad about certain shit that's going on, could have walked on the bouncer like two. I'm done. But what I'm saying is, you know, that you got to be thankful for that opportunity. You got to be, but then it's up to you to take it, because then again, you got so many people here in America, and you got this country is like full of depression and full of obesity and full of a lot of things that people sit here and complain about. Say, oh, well, this is this and this is this. Well, man, one, look, you got the opportunity to eat good. Other countries wish they could eat and be in that situation. So, you know, it's your choice. If you want to, if you happy with whatever it is you're doing, be happy about it. Again, and don't let nobody else outside opinions judge you. But the thing with like depression is, I don't understand, and I can understand it because, like I said, I had my bouts with it and everything like that. But once you come to your senses, it's too much opportunity to sit around being depressed and being upset and being fucked up about some shit that you can't, or that you can change. You know what I mean? And again, you can be born in a situation where these opportunities never present themselves. So, somebody said something about something, I don't know. It's just this whatever the chat bot noise is. I don't know who. I've never played Overwatch or whatever the fuck that shit is. So I don't know what that is. Here we got another call coming in. We'll take this call, and then we'll probably just go back to the text line, because for some reason, like I say, you know, it's hard to. I know people have some.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming in so loud I can barely understand what they're saying.
Okay, what's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in on the? Hello.
Hey, this is Russell. I live in the neighborhood. How are you?
Russell? Hey, Russell.
You're going to have to speak up. I really can't hear you.
No, Russell, we're not. I don't want to talk to you, Russell. You sound like a Russell Westbrook.
I actually was trick-or-treating last year with my son for Halloween at your house. Do you remember me?
Oh, you the one who little kid who bucket I took.
Wearing a cute little elf costume.
Yeah, no, that shit wasn't cute. I thought he was a real dwarf. That wasn't no cute elf.
Hey, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I ain't going nowhere. What's happening, Russell?
Well, anyway, I have a small favor to ask you.
Nope.
Can we come over to your house right now for some candy?
What the fuck? You can bring some candy.
We're just trying to beat the Halloween rush and do some off-season trick-or-treating. You understand?
Off-season trick-or-treating. Yeah, you come get some of that off-season trick-or-treating and see what happens with you. I enjoy some of the prank calls, man. They are definitely entertaining, man. So I definitely enjoy some of those. But like I said, we just gonna reside back to the text line, because for some, like I said, it's I know we gotta take this one call. We'll take this one call. What's the motherfucking deal? Who's calling in to the den this evening? Shaquille O'Cushington.
Uh-oh.
What is going down? Are you?
A whole lot of things right now, my nigga. But hey, I'll be back in the mixer real soon.
Okay.
Real soon.
I got one question for you, Shaquille O'Cushington.
What's that?
How's everything in the world of drugs?
I don't do those things. I don't know.
You're not doing the drugs anymore, huh? But that's a little bit of an inside. You see, I think Mixer Crew might know about that joke. Yeah, everybody don't know about that one. But what's been going down, man? What you want to drop in the den?
There's something I wanted to say. For all y'all that was hating on your boy, my boy Boosie came out and dropped the tape and said it's okay. It's okay to fart while you live. It's okay.
Who? What?
So y'all hating. My boy Boosie was live on stream and just farted right on the. It's okay.
I don't know about that.
It's okay.
I'm
It's okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I like what Boosie talks about. I enjoy Boosie's music, but I'm gonna have to disagree with him on that one. I think it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay if you poot, but when you let one rip, and when I'm talking about not even let it rip, I mean when you just shred one. You know what I'm talking about? That registers on a seismic scale. That's a whole different situation.
It's your dog. It's okay. It's your dog. Now, for real though, and that's what y'all so I'll be back on the mix of real soon. Long talk about holla at your boy Shaq Kush.
That's a BET. Appreciate the call, Cushington.
Oh my God. T'Challa said he blew a hole in his drawers.
But yeah, I know the little audio is a little trippy. So this is what we're gonna do. I mean, y'all still call y'all liking this speakerphone action. Hey, we'll take this last one. Fuck it. God damn it, I can't reject the lie. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling in to the den?
It's Edmund.
Edmund, what do you want to drop in the den this evening?
So I had a problem, and I wanted to hear your input on the situation.
Okay. What you got?
So my, I guess you can still call my current girlfriend. She recently got pregnant, and she's saying that I'm the father, but I don't believe so, and I feel like she got a hookup with someone else. So what should I do?
Oh man, interesting question.
What exactly did he say?
Now he was saying that his current girlfriend, and if you believe that, she might not need to be your current girlfriend. She believes that she's gotten pregnant, and she says that he's the father, and he doesn't believe that. So what should he do? That's a good one. Here, I'm gonna hang up on your Ed, man, so that way we can kind of talk about it, because I know that Man Up is having a difficult time kind of hearing it, so that way we'll be able to address it. But I appreciate the call, and we'll definitely talk about it. It's a very interesting question, man. So we'll definitely talk about that. But I appreciate the call. We'll work our way on answering that right now.
I bet.
Interesting. Interesting. First, in a few months, you probably need to schedule a visit to Maury. You know, I don't know how that goes, but in all seriousness, it's a very interesting situation, because what you have to think about is, have you in all of your encounters, you know, use protection, or practice a method of some form of precautionary maneuver. And again, none of these things are 100%, so the possibility is always there. If you have those trust issues, how long have you had those trust issues? What are you basing that off of? Is that simply because, you know, you just may or may not be ready to be a father this time, so you don't want to be in that situation? I mean, it's a lot of factors that you have to think about, but I think you got a couple of situations you have to deal with. Is she wanting to keep the child? Again, I don't know your stance on pro-life or pro-choice. You know, that's up to you. And I think that adds another layer of it. If so, I mean, if you are questioning it, the first thing that you're going to have to do is, you know, get a DNA test. You know, I mean, that's your best bet. If you really truly don't think it's you, and DNA test will resolve that matter before you get caught up in a situation that you would prefer not to be in. I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. Man Up, what are your thoughts on that one, man? How do you feel that he should address this issue with the possible pregnancy?
Wow. Well, I would say if you already don't, like you said, if you already don't believe that that's your child, then it must have been something going on that makes you think that. So either something's going on in a relationship, or it might be something in his head, or maybe a little bit of both. You know, it just all depends. Like I said, the situation, it all depends on his situation. Now, no matter what she says, if you don't want to have this thought in the back of your head killing you for a while, go ahead and try to figure it out. Like everybody's saying in the chat, lab time. It's lab time. We all know what that means. Yeah, DNA test. Go check it out. We'll see. And they even got advanced DNA tests these days where you don't even need the mom around. You can still do it yourself. And yeah, to speak on what everybody was saying, T'Challa is going hard on everybody today in the chat. Yeah, boy, I don't know. Y'all must have made her mad or something. I ain't saying nothing to her today. But I just had to throw that out there. But yeah, I would say, look, check this out. For example, I would say this here. Just go ahead and say, look, I want to, have a peace of mind. I want to know for sure. And she might call herself getting upset, but at the end of the day, guess what? It's for your peace of mind for you to know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? What your situation may be. And if she ain't got nothing to hide, she'll do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if she believes you're cheating, you'll do whatever to try to prove that you're not. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So just go ahead and try to have a clear mind, see if the child is yours. Now, he said that he don't believe that the child is his. Yeah, T'Challa said, if you ask her to take a test, she'll put you on child support. Well, she might. Don't know, but I'd rather be put on child support than not knowing if this child is mine. I'm taking care of the child is not mine, period. So this all depends. But he said that he don't think the child is his. Now, I'm wondering why he don't think the child is his. Was he always having protection, sex with protection? Was he not having sex with her at all? Or has it been a long time? What, why do we think that? So that's another factor you got to explain into. Why do he think that? So it just really all depends and stuff like that. So, it's a whole bunch of factors that can come into play on this. So we could be all night talking about this. So, so his situation is kind of unique. So he said he don't believe so. Now, that's another thing. You got to figure out why he don't believe so. You think she cheated on you? You think because whatever. So it just all depends. Now, I got something I want to talk about here myself, man. I know it's just way off topic, but this is something about your stream that you did yesterday when you was talking about being black in America or something like that. You said the name of the stream was, I forgot what the name of it was.
Self-hate, yeah.
Self-hate,
a big black problem, yes.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you saw me type this in earlier. I was hoping Ernest was watching because he said something that, it struck a chord with me. He spoke the 100% truth because I said the same thing about that Black Panther movie. Yeah. I said that too. I was like, we as black people, we put that movie way up here. And there's been other black superhero movies out way before that one that we did not put up here. Mm-hmm. Now, my guess is because it's supposed to be from Africa. Yeah. And people don't know that Wakanda is a made-up place. It's not real. It's made up. For the comic books back in the 70s and stuff, it's made up. The movie was actually filmed in Atlanta.
ATL, shouted.
Yeah. So, and I was like, "Are y'all serious? Really?" I said the same thing. Look, I'm not knocking. It was a good movie. Good action-packed movie. It was, but it's just the fact that we put that movie. I ain't gonna say we because I did, but we as black people put that movie way up here when it's like it dope, and I was like, for what? Now, the first black superhero movie was called A Bar. Now, it's a 70s movie. It was supposed to be the first ever black Superman movie. Way before Blade, the one with Will Smith.
Hancock.
Yeah, Hancock, there we go. For Blade, before Hancock. Hey, we didn't even say nothing about Catwoman with, I can't think of her name right now.
Halle Berry.
Halle Berry, yeah. That was you know what I'm saying? She was a black superhero. Nobody's putting these other movies. So what made it with this one a fictional movie that's nowhere near real to be put up there like that? So when Ernest was talking about that, he spoke the 100% truth on that. Because I said that years ago. Not years ago. When I first saw the movie, And as a matter of fact, the day before I went to go see the movie, I watched this comedian. I can't remember his name. Tried to look it up, but I couldn't find it. But he said that he went to go see the movie, and he was blown away by the audience, people that were watching. He said that what he noticed most was people that's not even from Africa in the movies wearing dashikis and all other kind of African gear, but you hear them talk, and they from British Columbia, they might be from Mexico or whatever, because of their accent. And I was like, when I went to go see the movie, I was like, the movie's good. Don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. But like I said, it's just that we, as a people, we made too much of it. Yeah. And when he said that we spent over $1 billion to see this movie, I looked it up. He's right, but that's just movie ticket sales alone. That's not merchandise or anything else. So that's even more money. But those movie sales alone, $1 billion. Yeah. And people put that much money into fakeness. Why we can't put that much money into realness? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when you said that, I was like, what? I was saying the same exact thing. But it's funny, though, when you say these things, people will come out and just bash you for it, talk crap about you. Like, where's your mindset at? Look it up. Google it. Where is Wakanda? I bet you the first thing it's gonna say is that it's not real. I don't know exactly what it's gonna say, but I remember the comic books from the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It was a made-up place. Now, I did look up where the movie was filmed. It was filmed in Atlanta. So it's like, y'all see, you know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna really, go all off like that? Yeah.
And honestly,
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I think with Black Panther, man? I honestly feel like Black Panther was just the first Marvel movie that a lot of black people saw, because Marvel movies are known for having all that action and a whole bunch of shit going on, there's special effects and things like that. And I honestly, like I said, I liked the movie, but it wasn't to the extent like, oh, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen, or this movie's gonna change my life. And again, like I said, I felt it was more, it pointed out a real underlying issue, and that was the division between American blacks and African blacks, if anything. I felt that pointed that more, because you see the African, they was like, man, fucking, we wasn't trying to go to America. We just wasn't trying to help everybody. I think that pointed out a bigger issue with that, because like I said, I talk about how, blacks and black and Africans and black Americans have a divide. We see things differently. That's what I saw more so than anything. People were talking about, oh, we got to come together and do this, and this. And then, probably after the damn movie, go beat somebody up for stepping on their shoe or some shit, But, it's just, I didn't get it. And it's funny that you said, putting money into fakeness. And that's a big black problem right there. Putting money in fake. Put $1 billion into Black Panther for imagery, for entertainment. Putting billions, 7, 8, 9, $10 billion into the fake hair industry, because
I was just going to get into that.
Yeah. But what you got?
Go ahead.
No, and I was just saying that the fakeness, we willing to support all this fakery, and that's why we don't have anything real, because we put all the money into fakery. But what you got?
I was finna say this, kind of getting into Heidi's point, because I've been waiting to say this. I wasn't going to say it too soon, because Heidi kept talking about fake weaves and stuff. I don't know if she's seen the movie, but there was a part, you said you've seen it, but there was a part in there where they was at I think it was a club or wherever they was at before they had that car scene where he tore up that car. Well, that woman was ready to tear down, and she just snatched that wig off her head. She wanted to be real, who she was. So, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I was like, that's another thing that I brought up, saying people put money into fakeness. Yeah, it was a movie. That part wasn't real, but she was a bald-headed woman, and she took that damn wig off her head, and she used it as a weapon. She threw it at some dude and started fighting with it.
Yeah.
So kind of getting to what Heidi's talking about. She brung it on herself. I waited. I didn't say anything, but. And I think that's what I'm talking about. People putting money. That's what me and you really, and a whole bunch of other people have been talking about, putting money into fakeness instead of something real. See what I'm saying? So when you sitting here going all out for something like this, like I said before, to me, my personal opinion, I know a lot of other people might not think so, but my personal favorite black superhero movie was Blade.
Yeah, yeah, Black
That
Widow.
that was all three of them to me, in my opinion. I know people might like Hancock, some people might. A lot of people don't want, like I said, you had Catwoman. A lot of people, even Spawn. I can't
Spawn
pronounce
was my shit. Yeah, Spawn was my shit with Michael
I can't
John
pronounce
White.
that name.
Yeah, Michael John White. And that's what I say. He shit. That motherfucker, that cold blooded. And yeah, and then we talking about speaking of Michael John White. I don't know if you ever seen Black Dynamite, but
No.
yeah, if you get a chance, it's like a parody of the black exploitation movies. It's pretty funny. It's like a comedy. That shit is hilarious. It's
The
on
name of
it's on Netflix. I think it's Black Dynamite.
Black Dynamite. Okay.
You have to check it out.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's entertaining. Like I say, 'cause it makes jokes about how, like, back in the day when they used to reuse certain scenes over and over, they had them little glitches and little mess ups in some of the scene, the editing and all kind of little shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious, man. It's a bunch of little funny shit in that movie, but it's basically just playing on a lot of those old black exploitation films, and I think that shit. It's got him. It's Michael John White. It's got Tommy Davidson from In Living Color. What's the other chick name? I can't remember. The one who was Uncle Leroy girlfriend in the second Friday. And when Craig first got there,
Oh,
the second chick, I can't remember her name. I always
the
want
big girl. I know you're talking about. Yeah, she's a comedian. I know.
I threw that shit before I came in the room.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Golly, I like her. I like her stand up. I can't think of her name right now, but yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, she's in it, and then it's got a couple of folks in it that are pretty funny. Like I say, it's got a nice little cast of characters, but it's pretty funny. But
Yeah,
you should check
I
it
had to
out.
talk about that because I was like I said, I was hoping he was watching because I wanted him to see that I really did agree with him on everything he was saying. Because I said that a long time ago. I mean, a long time ago, and for that to come fruition to see that I'm not the only one that sees that, it's like that was just refreshing to me. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. That's what I say. It's just, again, the fakeness. We're living in these images in our minds. And again, like I say, that's why I say I talk about weave and I talk about stuff like that. And it's not so much, hey, it would be one thing if it was, okay, hey, I want to do something a little different every now and then. Like, I wouldn't have so much of a problem. My thing is the overwhelming amount of black women that wear weave. If it was like, hey, a couple of them here, if it was 80% of black women was wearing their hair naturally or wearing their own hair or whatever it was, okay, cool. You see a chick with some weave every now and then. Because like I say, it's not like Mexican women or white women don't wear extensions and shit like that, which they do, but it's not the overwhelming majority of them. With black women, it's like you talking about 80-90% of black women are wearing weaves. Like, they had to be told that their regular hair is cool now to wear. It's the new in style now that it's becoming trendy to be yourself. Now it's a thing, and so that's my problem. That's where I find the issue with it. Like I said, it's not so much in the weave itself. Hey, you want to look different every now and then, cool. You want to a role play with your old lady, go buy a wig or two and go do some old off the wall shit. Do your thing. I ain't mad at you, but when this is your lifestyle. Like I say, when it's a mental issue that when someone else's hair gets taken off of your head, you can't go out in public, that you feel like you can't exist in common society, you're ashamed of yourself. That is a mental issue. It's not about the hair itself, it's about the mindset behind the hair. And so, yeah, put your baby on top of your goddamn head when it's raining. You rather put your baby, get your baby sick instead of you can't tell me that's not a mental issue. You know what I'm saying?
Let me give you another one. I want you to look this up when we get off here today.
Okay.
Look this up. Please look this up. And everybody in the chat and everybody who will watch this later on, look this up. Kid you not, it was a Jamaican lady cut the tail off a horse. Because we already say, weave his horse's hair. Cut the tail off a horse. And you already know where that's going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that is a disease in your head. know what I'm saying? A lot of people, oh, that ain't no horse's hair. It's fake. It's human hair. People who died or blah, blah, blah. Well, this one woman seemed to think it really is horse's hair. Whether it's real or not, whether it's, you know what I'm saying? She cut the hair off of a tail to use it as weed.
I mean, she just wanted a ponytail. That's all. That's it.
That's gonna be a long ponytail. You know, them tails on a horse are long. Put that on your head. But yeah, and you're right, Mac 11. Are you related to Mac 10? But yeah, that is messed up. That is messed up. You don't. See, you literally did that. I'm telling you, look that up. You'll see what I'm saying. Y'all look that up. I'm not joking. Cause I forgot how I found that video, but I saw it. I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, I ain't gonna lie. The Jamaicans, they be on some other shit. Cause like I said, I don't know if you heard, because I was talking about also in the video, but I ain't talking about as much about that cake soap. Have you ever seen that? If you ever get a chance, man, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's called cake soap. Look up like Jamaican cake soap on YouTube,
Okay.
and it's just like it's spelled, cake and soap, Jamaican cake soap. And it's some shit that they clean themselves with. A lot of them go by this shit religiously, and it basically it takes all the pigment out of your skin, and it looks crazy as cat shit. And the motherfuckers are talking about, yeah, I'm trying to be whiter than Michael. I'm lighter than Michael Jackson, and I'm talking about motherfuckers be dark as me. You cake soap it up for a little bit, and then next thing you know, they looking like the king of pop. And that's it's craziness, man. It really is. And like I said, I just don't understand the mindset behind it. That's a sickness. That it's a sickness, and there's no justification. No justification for it whatsoever. So I think that's the craziness. So we talking about judging people. If those kind of people you can judge, they got a sickness. That's a damn sickness.
That's what I'm finna get into. And Heidi kept talking about the weeds and stuff. So I said, I'm gonna hold on before I say anything. I'm gonna let her know what I'm talking about. It ain't that we talking bad about them. It's just that about having weeds. It's just that you see so many people walk out the door with a bandana wrapped around their head before they show their real hair.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's like you would never see their real hair. Now, I mean, yeah, that's your choice, your personal business. All right, Dr. Rabbit. No. But that's your choice, your personal business. You do you. That's your life. You do you. But you cannot sit here and say that nobody ain't going to judge you. Something like that, yeah, I think you deserve to be judged. Yeah. Now, especially if you have hair, you're not a mental patient. And even if you are, still, there's people out there, bald women that have cancer that still don't mind showing their bald head. So
the wallet the other day, seen a lady. She was bald. She was rocking it. She was tough with her bald head. I had to salute. I said, you know what? I see you.
And that's what we were talking about before, about self-confidence and stuff like that on another video we did. That was right there, to me, would get my attention first before you try to beautify yourself. Mm-hmm. Your confidence level would get my attention first before you beautify yourself. Just saying. Exactly. So stuff like that, I say, does deserve to be judged, good or bad, whatever the situation is. But I just had to bring that up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, no, that's very valid, very valid. But yeah, man, like I say, that's a legitimate concern, especially like I say within the black community, man. Like I say, man, it's just unfortunate. But and then at the same time, I did bring up one good point that she was talking about. Well, because of the way men for mating or whatever. There's a lot of dudes that encourage that behavior, and I think that's part of the problem too. Dudes got to stop embracing that old, there was the song "Bald Head Hoes" and that whole mentality like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they encouraging the shit. That's why I say, like, I can't listen to a motherfucker want to sit here and holler about some, black power this and black power that, but then you at the same time you telling your old lady, you telling females they need to. You need to have some weave in your head, or we getting mistreated, this, and this, because you playing both sides of the coin, in my opinion. You know what I mean? And so it's like you gotta pick a side. Like, I mean, you're entitled to believe in what you want to believe in, but then you encouraging behavior that is not of your culture. So then it must not be what you really say it is. So that's just my thoughts on that. People will disagree, or they'll find a way to justify or validate, the way they feel about certain shit, but. Again, like I said, I don't think it's a legitimate mentality, and I think it's an issue that needs to, I think slowly but surely it's working, but it's different. Like I said, when I go to a place where I go and get my hair done, most of the chicks there are natural, and I say, and I enjoy seeing that, and to me it's just like I can't I can't, like, if a chick say, oh man, I do hair, I can do your hair and do this, and she got a head full of weave. I'm like, no, you can't. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of beauticians, and they, this is the fucked up thing about it. They say a lot of beauticians encourage women, oh, just get you go get you a perm or go get you some weave because it's easier to style. It's easier because it makes their job easier, as opposed to them, increasing their skill set and saying, hey, learn how to work with natural hair. Learn how to work with, the different textures of hair and stuff like that. So I think that, again, that's the problem. It's bad when you're a beautician because that's who you're gonna rely on. That's who you're gonna go to for advice. The person who does your hair. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, hey, hold on. My wife, I got that good shit, man. Hold on, man. I got that good shit. I was feeling good. They was telling me, yeah, you have a good texture of hair. Yeah, they was trying, they just want to rub on your boy. I'm just saying, nah, but in all seriousness, because, you gotta, sometimes you may be dealt cards in life that you may not be happy about. But you gotta figure out a way to do that in the truest sense of yourself. And I'm not saying don't abandon who you are and what you are to go and just say you're doing some shit. And so, I mean, it's just because everybody else is doing it, because everybody feeling that's judgment. That's like you said, confidence. Well, I don't want to be judged because, I'm wearing my hair naturally. I'm doing this or doing that. So I'm gonna go throw some of this bullshit in my head because that's what everybody else is doing. That's how everybody else looks, or that's what guys are liking. But honestly, you don't want a dude that likes you for you, because that's not you that he's in love with. That's not you that he's liking. If you got to put a bunch of stuff that is not of your person on your body, in your body, whatever it may be, you're not being true to yourself. And so you're selling somebody a dream, and that's what they're in love with, is that dream. It's not you that they really fucking with. So I think that's just
true. Like I say plenty of times, though, you see this here, right here? Look at this. If I can come on this stream right now looking like that, knowing I need to shave, and don't really give a goddamn, you can too. Exactly. It's just, I don't know what it is. They like to say, well, women get judged more. No, you don't. No, you don't. We get judged too. For example, if a man ain't tall enough, you ain't checking out for him. If a man don't make this much amount of money, don't drive this kind of car, don't live here, you ain't checking out for him. A bunch of different stuff. So that's bullshit to me. So they can miss me with that. Then another thing is this here too, as well too. Excuse me. Like I forgot who it was that asked me will I let my daughter wear weave. I was kind of waiting to answer that question because I wanted to get into this a little bit later. Right now, I'm gonna say no. Now, like I said, when she gets older, she starts to make her own decisions. I'm gonna let her say, hey, if you do this or you do that, this and that might happen, blah, 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 depending on what it is. But the reason why I say no is because I tell my daughter all the time, you're beautiful the way you are. And if I do that, then I'm contradicting what I'm saying. So I'm saying, I'm saying no because you are naturally beautiful. So when you were born, you didn't have that crap in your head, or had all that makeup on your face, or had all the ants implanted. Even for guys, you wasn't born with being all muscular and built and stuff. You wasn't born showing off money and stuff like that when you came out the womb. So, excuse me. So it's like, where do people get this idea and stuff from to put on all this fakeness? And that's kind of what I was talking about with the Black Panther movie, was supporting fakeness instead of realness. You know what I'm saying? And you say this all the time, and I 100% agree with you. Every single time you say it. If you was to put out a rap album, people would be, oh, let me go count that, let me listen to it, blah, blah, blah. But you're not putting out a rap album, and people are like, whatever. Yeah. And I heard you say this before about your daughter doing meal sales. I forgot what exactly term you called it, but when you said that your most support was from white people and Asians and stuff like that, and I agree with you. It's like when I sell my cookies and stuff, I don't get that much support from my own people. Or if I do, oh man, hook me up, come on, hook me up. And I hit them with this line. I say, if you go to the store and buy some cookies, you ain't gonna get no hookup, so buy them from me for full price. The convenience is you don't have to go anywhere. I'm bringing them to you. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, and white say, we'll hook that up one day. I'll let you know what's up.
Hey, they legit. I'm telling you. Look, like if I wasn't on my trying to be healthy, I'm on my fat vegetarian diet. Because like I said, I used to, I mean, somebody used to say to me, like, man, how somebody be a vegetarian and they still fat? How that work? Man, I figured it out. This is portion control, goddamn. If you still eat big portions, no matter if you eat a plate full of steak or a plate full of mushrooms or whatever the fuck it may be, your ass gonna stay big. So definitely, it's portion control is of the utmost importance. Here's the deal: we got a couple of texts. We're gonna read these and then we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here shortly. Got one says, "What's up, is Mello?" Said, "Can you tell the difference between a hood nigga saying the word nigga or just someone using it as an insult?" Yeah, I think you can tell. You can tell in the inflection in their voice. You can tell in their demeanor and how they trying to use it. But again, like I say, but what is the real difference? If you saying it, you saying it. I mean, that's why I say you can talk about using it as acceptable between us or somebody else saying it. I mean, it is you kind of got to make that decision for yourself. But I mean, I'm a person that I believe in free speech. I believe in people being entitled to say what they want to. But you deal with whatever consequence because everybody's not going to think of that accordance. You know what I mean? So sometimes your best bet is maybe just not to do certain things. But then I know I still do it. I tell myself I'm gonna try to ease off of it and not use it as much. But again, it's a deeply ingrained habit. So sometimes it just happens, But I definitely try to find words that are synonymous or with my intentions as opposed to trying to use it so much. What are your thoughts on that one, Mr. Man Up? Can you tell the difference between a hood nigga using nigga or somebody who's trying to be hurtful with the term?
Of course, you could tell someone being hurtful, and sometimes it's a hood nigga trying to. I just said the damn word, but it's always someone that even somebody that's hood might be trying to use it, trying to hurt you. But here's the thing with that, and I say this all the time. It is what it is. The word doesn't mean nothing just because someone. I mean, it means the same. Excuse me. Just because someone is saying it that's black or not black, it's being said. Plain and simple. So that's why I don't understand why people always say these things. So the only thing is this here, and I'm gonna say this here. I just think that word needs to disappear. Period. But it is what it is. Now, with that being said as well too, guess what? You ain't even gotta use that word. You can use other words, and people still can be hurtful and still not be. Like for example, I can be joking with Honcho, and he can say a joke. I said, "Man, Honcho, you stupid. You stupid." Then he can say something, and I can say, like, "Honcho, you stupid." You know that. So you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing, same word, and I'm using it, but of course it can have different meaning. See what I'm saying? So it's not just that word; it's a bunch of other different words. You know what I'm saying? So so it just really all depends. Like you said, it depends on who takes it a certain way and stuff like that. Me, I just look at it and say, okay, whatever, and do on about my business.
And it says, one thing I think Edmund says, "Man Up, can you make a good living with a labor job? And do you think more black people should take those jobs?"
That all depends on you. Of course, you can have a good living doing anything. Because like I said 100 times before, it ain't always how much money you make, it's what you do with that money. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you can have a good living with a labor job. And do I think more black people need to take it? I think, my personal opinion, we as black people need to stop being greedy in what we want, I'll put it like that. Because a lot of people like to only go after, like, playing ball or being rappers or whatever, singers or whatever. That kind of answers your questions right there.
And I agree. Like I say, man, it's something, because I recently invested in one. And I'm telling y'all, man, you guys, you got to look for opportunity. Because I told y'all when I was working at McDonald's, what did I do? When I first got that first paycheck, went and bought a bunch of used lawn equipment. You know what I'm saying? Had me a whole setup, had me a blower, had me a rake, had me a weed eater, had a lawnmower, had basically all the little tools that I needed. You know what I'm saying? To set up, and I threw that shit in the back of the trunk of the car, and I would ride around, cut yards. So bam, when I'm out working McDonald's and cutting a yard, or sometimes one yard would be my 8-hour day at McDonald's, or cut you one or two shit. I done got solid for a couple of days. You know what I mean? It's just it is what it is in a much shorter period of time. So you just gotta work, but then you gotta have a side hustle. You gotta And then eventually, if you grind your side hustle enough, your side hustle can be your main hustle. You know what I mean? Then that other income becomes something different. I just got this course the other day, and it was something I'd been looking at for a while. And it's a young dude, and basically what he did is he started off working one job, and I follow him on Twitter. And I mean, not like I know him, but it's funny because like I say I'm proud of him, but I don't. I mean, young dude, he was in the military, or whatever, and then he started a little watch company. And he basically breaks down, what he does, how he got into it. And he talks about how he built his following, how he grew. And he was talking about his first year, sometimes his best month he might have, he might have made $1,200. And then, in his first year, in his second year, he had some months where he would make a couple of thousand. He might have 5,000 here. He make this here or there. And then, now I think this is like his third year or so of doing it, or going on his third or fourth year. And just the other day, he just went and I want to say he bought one in Colorado, either Colorado or Atlanta. I'm not sure. I got to see what the picture was, but because I know he said somebody was driving to Colorado and he was talking about he had just bought him a house. Basically bought his house cash because that's what he had been saving for. Because I would see because of the pictures, he was just being in his apartment. I'm like, man, you say you're making this money. You just staying in an apartment. What's really going on? That's why I started questioning some of the stuff. But then when I see, that he had a goal, and that's why I say that judging. You know what I mean? And you doing this. But I would see all the watches he'd be selling. He hired his mama to help him, bag and sell his watches because he was making good money off it. So he breaks down the game as to what he did and how he does it, how he finds products, or how you can find your own products and things like that to start your brand and things of that nature. And again, course is like usually it was like $100. I caught it when it was about $50 because he would put it on sale sometimes. And so just that little course, maybe about an hour and a half, but it's so jam packed with knowledge and information that all you got to do is go and apply that, and you can make that money back, on your first sale, or you can make that money back, or just the game that he gives in that stuff. I mean, it's so much, because you can go a lot of places, and a lot of people tell you this, when somebody has experience and they can give it to you, and sometimes, hey, you got to pay for other people's time. You know what I'm saying? Once you didn't put in that work and they become experienced or have an expertise in a certain area, especially with our people is what kills me is, oh, well, if you know all that, why don't you just tell us? Why don't you just, give it to us free? Why? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Why, if I grind it, I put in all this work, why should I give it to you for free? And the thing about when you actually spend money on something, you're more likely, now it's not always guaranteed, they say even though people buy stuff, only 10% of people execute it, but you're more likely to use what you bought if you spent money. But if somebody gave you something for free, you don't value it. That's the same reason what people say with our minds, that, we take that shit for granted. That's why people don't train their minds. That's why people don't, invest in their own personality, their personal development, because, you were given this body for free. You were given this mind for free. But a motherfucker will kill you over a whole ass couple of $100 watch or a couple of $100 cheap ass shoes that's really, $10, $15 to make, if that, because they have this fake value on them. And so it's about the value. And that's, look, let me jot that down. That's going to be a upcoming den conversation, the value of the mind. So y'all look forward to that soon. But and that's the way people operate. The majority of the world operates externally, and they're looking for external value when the value really lies within yourself. So like you were saying, you can make a living with anything. You just got to figure out how to capitalize it and maximize that, get a little money and make that money work for you. Find ways that you can make that money work while you working, so that you're not always, but the thing with a labor job is you got to be on deck a lot of times. That means you got to be there to make the money. But that's not saying that once you got that labor job going that you can't create something else that's a little bit more automated, or something that may generate you sales while you at work, and then you come home and say, okay, well, I got 10 sales. I either need to send this off, or I have this process automated to where if it's something digital, or if it's something, some type of information I need to collect. Like, there's so many other ways nowadays, especially with the internet, that you can find ways to make good money. And I mean, these youngsters, the teenagers making 6 figures these days, 7 figures these days, and not all just influencers. I mean, they just really learning the game and living great lives because they figure this stuff out, they automate it, and you know they pave a way for themselves. So again, sometimes I tell you, man, a little nugget of knowledge can get you further than college. I'm not telling you not to go to college if you're looking for a specific career path that you have to obtain, but a little nugget of college, no, a little nugget of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Maybe investing $50 to $500 in one of these courses, depending on, again, sometimes you gotta follow these people and see if they provide merit. If somebody can't ever provide you a lot of good game for free, and this is what I say this dude does, he puts a lot of good game out there for free. I mean, stuff you could take the free stuff and really run with a lot of it if you're really paying attention. But sometimes you need more details and more stuff like that. Or sometimes you look at all this free stuff, you say, hey man, I'm gonna support this dude because he gave me so much information that I've profited off of. I've made more money than what I'm gonna support his hustle for all that game that he gave me. But you gotta pay attention. If a motherfucker can't give you nothing for free, it's always teasers, but it's never nothing good. I always say, man, I'm wary of those people. But if a person ain't tripping, they just giving you so much value that they just throwing it out there, hey, here's this, you can do this, and you can do this, and you can do this, and not having too much of anything in expectation or return, man, that's somebody you pay attention to, because if they giving all that away for free, imagine the game that they can give you that, they're telling you pay, spend a little money with, or see how in depth that they can give you. So, I mean, that's something to pay attention to.
It's true. It's true.
There's that. Yeah, talk about that goofy ass No Nut November. That's not a lie. It was in sober October, and they talking about No Nut November. It used to be what, no Fap November or some shit like that. I don't know. Shaq said he's gonna be coming back to the mixer soon, so I don't know if he's gonna be on the mixer or not. So I don't know about that. But we're gonna get ready to wind some things down and get to it. It is the weekend. I haven't officially canceled mixer yet, so I guess we can get a little mixer action in. Like I said, I'm still debating on how we gonna handle that. So yeah, we'll get some mixer action. I still got to finish that little Metro game. I'm telling y'all, boy, I've been on the brink of wanting to get that Red Dead so bad. I see all these little things. Who was it? I think somebody hit me talking about, man, they killed my horse, man. That was my day one horse, and they killed it, man. I'm gonna get revenge. But here's the deal. Mr. Man Up, is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I do want to say, like I said before, I'm trying to remember to do this every time we do one. Me and you talked about it. Want to end the den on a positive note. This is not to bash anyone at all. This is just to do your homework. Just to use your brain, like you always say. And one more thing. Come here, big girl. Come here. Never mind. My daughter wants to do it. She just walked in the room. Yeah, I probably heard her talking right there. She just walked in the room. I was trying to show off my baby, who I'm so proud of, been doing good in school. But she don't want to anyway. Okay. But anyway, just want to say I appreciate everyone. Thank y'all for your time. Thank you, Honcho, for having me on again. I know it sounds rhetorical because I said a lot, but I really do mean it. Appreciate it. We got to do this again real soon. And like I told you before, and I'll say it again, I'll be available for you Sunday to do South Sports. Okay. I haven't done South Sports with you in a while.
Yeah, that's a BT. We're going to make that happen. So look forward to some Man Up on some sauce. That'll be a good deal. And hopefully that these rocks can get back on their streak and get their shit together. But again, like I say, man, I appreciate Man Up always coming through, holding it down. There's always a great conversation every time Man Up comes through, and so I appreciate that. And again,
I probably hear my daughter talking right now. I'm show her. She won't come on over here. Anyway, there she go.
Okay.
Crazy head. Let me be.
Hello.
Hey.
All
right.
That's what's happening. But that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. That's what you want to see again. More good fathers out there. So you gotta salute to you for that one, man. But like I say, it's just we would like to say we hope some good deal. We see you on Sunday. We'll be talking Broncos, and that'll be especially good because you up there in Denver, and so you'll have some more. So we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on Sunday because I got a couple of good questions for you specifically since you're in that area. But like I say, man, I just want to say I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Shout out to everybody, all the friends in the den. We're all friends in the den, and my thing is this, man. So again, like I say, it's most sauce gonna get stirred. The den is, the den. We got some good ideas coming up with that. So like I say, it's just about learning, progressing, and growing. And I just appreciate everybody who comes along for the journey. I appreciate Man Up always coming through with good topics, always holding down the show, always great conversation, man. And with that being said, hey, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Kenneth ain't here, so I'm gonna politely escort y'all out the door. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't got to go home. You know, y'all can go wherever y'all want to. We'll be let me see, what is it, 12:15? So maybe make sure about 12:30. Check about 12:30. We might do some extra action tonight. And with that being said, you know, adios. Out the door. Scoop. Get going.
Thanks. Thanks.